Y'all, I'm gonna do something crazy with my child's education. Crazier than homeschool. I'm gonna let someone else pick my curriculum. Hi, I'm Kimberly and welcome back to my channel. It's Only Homeschooling. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm a licensed professional counselor turned homeschool mom of one. I'm also an advocate for homeschooling your child with learning differences. And I am passionate about promoting service, outreach, and volunteerism in your homeschool. It's that time of year again when everyone is talking about their curriculum picks for the upcoming school year. Okay, so in the intro, I did something a little funny. I shared that I was letting someone else pick my curriculum. That is true, actually, but there is a reason behind it. This is our second year that we are entering into as hybrid homeschoolers. If you've never heard of hybrid homeschool, or if you would like to know more about it, I'm going to put some cards up here for you to click on so you can learn what hybrid homeschool is, and so you can learn what our experience is like as hybrid homeschoolers. Since we are hybrid homeschoolers, what that means is we partner with a university model school. Our son attends 2 days a week class there. The school picks out the curriculum and they set the schedule. So I'm going to show you today some of the curriculum choices that our university model school picked out for us. And important caveat. Hybrid homeschooling does not mean that it's part-time school. He does attend 2 days on campus there. He does the remainder of his work here with us. So that does mean that the curriculum choices are important for us to be familiar with. So even though the school picks them out, I am still teaching at home the other days of the week. So very similar to traditional public and private schools, we are provided with a curriculum and supply list. I collect this list and then I start to order my materials online. So as curriculum starts to trickle in, that is when I get the opportunity to have a first look at it, start familiarizing myself with the curriculum that's coming in. A lot of these materials have just come in now, so you're going to get a first look with me. I'm going to give you a little bit of a flip through. What the school usually requests us to do as August draws near and we get ready to start the next school year, they will ask me to bring in select parts of either workbooks or other pages or materials, and they will put it all together in a notebook. This is my son's notebook from last year, so it's a little bit worse for wear. It's taken a beating. But that way it makes it easier for transporting material back and forth since he's on campus for 2 days and he's at home for the rest of the time completing his work. Okay, so I'm going to start with my least favorite subject to teach, but a very important subject. Luckily, it's not a hard subject for my son. We're going to start with math curriculum picks. We are going with what the school has picked for us, but it is our third year with BJU Press. We have fallen in love with BJU. We switched from Saxon Math in third grade. We did a complete third grade reboot after having some learning difficulties and some struggles. I'll put a card up here with some videos of what a flip through was like at the time that we had for BJU versus Saxon Math, and also another card as to what led us to want to switch. But we are going with BJU Press for math. My son is entering 5th grade, so this is the program. These are the teacher's manuals that we have. I decided to go ahead and get the teacher's manuals because I am not strong in math. I haven't actually opened these yet. So let me do a little bit of a quick open up and unboxing and flip through for you for the teacher's manuals. Okay, so this is BJU Press Math for 5th grade, and these are the teacher's manuals. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit intimidated seeing as how there are 2 of these. That's okay. This is why I have help through the University Model School. Okay, so it comes in 2 parts, apparently, which is not, in all honesty, that's not unusual. The past 2 years that we've used BJU, the teacher's manual has come in 2 sections. And again, from previous videos where I've shown you what I really like about the teacher's manuals is if you're going up to the board to do a problem, it's really sturdy back. and spiral bound. It's really, really quality made. And you can check through my previous video. It's pretty much the same format where, here's a little bit of a flip through. They show you what you're going to be covering with the chapters. Like one of the reasons we switched from Saxon to BJU is Saxon tended to jump around from, one day you could be learning about the weather, and the next day you could be learning about decimals, and then the next day you could be learning about fractions. Whereas here, you take it by chapters, and that just makes much more sense for learning. And then when you finish the chapter, you have a test. Well, a review and then a test so that you know if you have mastery of skills. So it wasn't necessarily uncomfortable with someone else picking my math curriculum. One of the things that I love about BJU is it offers scripts in here for the teacher's manual. If you're not quite, if you can think of a question that a student might ask, it's going to be in here, and it's going to give you a little bit of a guide, and as I call it, hand-holding, which if you're not strong in math or if you're not confident in math, like I am, then this gives you a bit more comfort in teaching it. The other thing that I like about this curriculum, even though I didn't choose it, I'm very familiar with it because this will be our third year using it, is they use a DVD guide or videos. So someone else teaches it as well, and I'm not gonna lie, there are times when my son is watching the videos on the days at home, when we do our work at home, I am watching right along with him. It's kind of like riding a bike in that the concepts come back, I'm like, oh, I do remember how to do this. Some things are a little bit different because math has changed just a little bit, but for the most part, it comes right back and it builds up my confidence. So that is what we are using, is BJU Math 5. Okay, so now let's move on to language arts. This year we are using something that I wanted to use for years in my homeschool, but wasn't sure if it would work for us. My son has dysgraphia, so I was a little concerned about how well it would go. But when we started the University Model School program last year, they picked the curriculum, so this was their choice. Last year we used, I love IEW. IEW's All Things Fun and Fascinating, Writing Lessons in Structure and Style. And this is kind of beat up because this is what we used in 4th grade. But I'm telling you, there was a way to modify this so that you can use it with your child. If your child has learning challenges like my son does with dysgraphia. We beefed up his typing skills to help, so anytime it came time to do the writing lessons in IEW, we just typed them and it worked beautifully. We had to build up some confidence in there as well. But this is what we used last year, was All Things Fun and Fascinating from IEW. And I will give a little bit of a flip through with this one so you can see what it's like too with the writing lessons as well. But here's just kind of an example. They give you a passage to read, and then you start taking notes and words from that little passage. And it's building up their ability to read through a selection of writing, pick out the keywords that are important so that they can learn how to also write that for themselves later. It builds them up in their essay writing skills and builds up their confidence. So this was last year's. And this year, we are going with Fables, Myths, and Fairy Tales writing lessons by implementing the structure and style writing method. And now on to spelling. This is our 2nd year using BJU Press for spelling as well. In 4th grade, we used Spelling 4. And this year, we are using BJU Press Spelling 5. Initially, when we started homeschooling, I used All About Spelling and All About Reading. But we switched. It got to be a little bit cumbersome using the little magnets and stuff. I'll put some pictures up here to show you what that looks like if you're not familiar with All About Spelling. But it got to be a little cumbersome moving those every single time. So instead, once the University Model School chose all of BJU Press Spelling, we decided, hey, this is actually a lot easier and still gets the concepts. What I like is, let me show you here, their method for teaching you how to spell. Very simple, and it works for us. It goes by look, say, think, write, and check. So it's a process for going through to learn how to get into the habit of spelling a word. With dysgraphia, my son does struggle with this a little bit. Believe it or not, he can actually spell better out loud and doing his oral spelling test, but he still does kind of switch the letters around occasionally. With enough practice and with enough reviewing his spelling word lists over the week, he's been doing pretty well with this program. But what I also like about BJU Press is they teach you not only spelling skills, but they also teach you vocabulary, and they teach you dictionary skills. Let's see if I can find some examples. Being able to alphabetize. So we are pretty big fans of BJU. And again, as with anything with BJU, it is all from a biblical worldview. So we like incorporating those faith concepts and coming from a Christian worldview perspective, as opposed to teaching it just as a separate subject. We like everything flowing from that point of origin. On to Cursive, just really quickly. I do not have my son's Cursive notebook from last year that was sent to school with him, but he did, and we didn't do any Cursive at home, other than he would practice writing in Cursive, but he did building writers last year, but he would practice writing in Cursive when he would do assignments at home, just to keep the skills fresh. But this year we are using handwriting. And like I said, Cursive is mainly taught on campus, so one of the ways that we reinforce those Cursive skills at home is we have him take his spelling tests in Cursive. Most of his assessments are taken on campus as part of the University Model Program, but spelling tests are typically taken at home, so we just take those in Cursive. Continuing on with reading, this is our third year using BJU Reading. We switched over a lot of our subjects in third grade when we did our third grade reboot, and so this was the BJU Press we used last year. So this year we are using Reading Quests, BJU 5. Reading is a strength for my son, so he's 2E, or what's known as twice exceptional. He's actually gifted in language arts, but he struggles with developmental coordination disorder and with dyspraxia. So this is not a hard subject for him whatsoever until it comes to doing the activities. So we work with him in this. A lot of times if he does them at home, I will do these activities orally. Okay, and lastly for reading, we do have some readers the school has assigned for this year. We are going to be reading Misty of Chincoteague. We actually read this a few years ago, so I'm excited to do it again. We're big readers in this house. And we started the Chronicles of Narnia series last year in fourth grade. We read first The Magician's Nephew, just because we wanted to have a basis and we didn't want to skip any of them before we moved on to, he read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with his class. And this year he has been assigned, where is it? Book 3, The Horse and His Boy. Now, I don't know that we are big readers in this house, but I don't know that we're going to get through the rest of the Narnia series in this year. I know we will at least get through The Horse and His Boy because he's going to read that in class, but we'll try to maybe get through at least one more. We also have, my son will love me plugging this really quick, he has a book club every month. It's just for kids. It's a hands-on book club. Since writing book reports is not his favorite thing to do, it's such a challenge, we came up with an idea a couple of years ago. It's his brainchild actually, where he uses Legos to recreate some events from the story or to talk about concepts such as setting or a character or story arc or anything along those lines. And it's called Books and Bricks, a hands-on book club for kids. We have an avatar, Ollie only, that is featured in the videos. But if you're interested and you would like for your child to participate in something like that, I will put a card up here linking to our book club and some of the videos so you can see what that's like. Okay, moving on to grammar. Last year we used Jack Chris Publishing's Growing with Grammar Level 4 with the student manual. For this year, now this is the first time I am seeing this. This is Analytical Grammar Basics. I am not familiar with this program whatsoever, so you are seeing it as I see it for the first time. So let's take a look. Okay, it doesn't look very thick. It's for the whole year. Okay, table of contents. So it looks like it's set up very similar to Growing with Grammar, but it looks like maybe instead of a separate workbook, it's all just included. Okay, so you've got your exercises A, since the first chapter is about nouns. Oh, okay, and so you mark it. Oh, okay, so this looks almost similar to IEW. The nose tree is what this is reminding me of. We started that and it did not go well. Nothing against IEW. I love IEW. But this was pre-diagnosis for dysgraphia, so I didn't quite know how to accommodate for my son at the time. Oh, if I knew then what I know now. But, that's life's lessons. Oh, okay, so it's also teaching abbreviations. This is very similar, but it's also very short. Look at that, not even 2 pages. I think this will keep him from being so completely overwhelmed, because a lot of times he'll take a look at something, and if there's a lot of blank space that he thinks he has to fill, he's almost fatigued before he gets started. Oh, this looks very doable. I have high hopes for this. So this is our grammar for this year. Analytical grammar 1. Okay, so moving on to science. We are going to be using BJU Press Science 5. This is our second year of using BJU, and I'll give you a little bit of a flip through. We used Science 4 last year. I'll be honest, BJU Science is not my favorite. It's not my choice, but I understand it's easier for use in a group setting, which was one of the trade-offs since we chose to go to a university model school. In our home, I have to be completely honest, we love Apologia. We just love it. Probably because there's so many experiments in here, and we are a hands-on science family. It is my son's absolute favorite subject. I'd probably say math after that, but he also loves reading. So what we tend to do when we have time is we still go back to our Apologia. I have not bought a new one, even though we technically completed this 2 years ago. We go back and we use this, and we've also been known for using Real Science Odyssey, and I'll put some links for that or cards up here for the science experiments that we've done with our little science show that we have, where my husband comes in and teaches, and he does a lot of the hands-on stuff because that is his jam, and I'm happy to let him blow up the kitchen as long as he cleans it up. But it's called Kitchen Science Kids. So if you just would like to do some science experiments, but you don't have all of your materials, just don't want to have to clean up that day, or you want to sit and maybe you're having a sick day, or it's a rainy day and you just want to sit and watch a fun science lesson where you can see what it's like to actually do those in your home, come join us over at Kitchen Science Kids. We would love to have you. Okay, so moving on to Bible. When my son attends the University Model School, they start every morning with chapel. And what we have been doing at home, we have been using this, I love this series, the Louie Giglio series. This is the second book in the series, the How Great Is Our God. We love this devotional, or this series of devotionals, because it incorporates science in which is my son's favorite subject. And I learn something every day, but it always starts with, I'll give you a little bit of a flip through for an example here. It starts with scripture, and it gives you a lesson about science from a biblical worldview, and then it ends in a prayer and with an extra little fun fact. And what we typically do is whatever that fun fact is, we go and look that up and watch brief little videos, because we're all about YouTube schooling, which if you want to learn more about how we use YouTube safely and how we use it in our home, I'll put a card up here for you to click on. But we love this series from Louie Giglio. We finished up the first one, so we've now moved on to the second one. So that is what we do for Bible at home. This is the first year, since he's starting 5th grade, that his school has put for us in order for him to actually have a separate Bible curriculum, and this is what they are using. Bible 5, The Fullness of Time from BJU. Okay, so moving on to history. In the past, when we first started homeschooling, we used the Story of the World series. I did love the series, although, because I love anything, if Jim Weiss could read me stereo instructions, and I would listen to it and adore it. And we did love that series, but I did feel like some of the questions that came with the activity manuals were a bit above where he needed to be, but we did love the audio, and we would listen to that in our car, and I would also incorporate that a lot with, as part of our curriculum mashup, and I'll put a card up here so you can learn what curriculum mashups are, that I would incorporate those together in sort of mashup learning where they would complement one another. I would incorporate songs from Classical Conversations or Veritas Press or any of the other songs that we had out there, just little pegs to hang information on because the songs are catchy and they help kind of line up with history. Didn't feel they were enough, but I would use them in as part of our memorization for that week. When we started the University Model Program, they chose our history curriculum for us, and what they decided to use were these history flashcards from Veritas Press. Sorry, I had a blank moment for there. So this is not the ones that we're using this year. We used last year Explorers to 1815. And what I did for using these cards to make it easier is I bought these little 3-ring binder notebooks and I put the cards in here. And if you're interested, I'll put a little video up there for how we use these cards. Just let me know in the comment section below. But the way the school used these cards, they provided us with a notebook. This is something you can create on your own as well. And we would take one card per week. Like here's an example of Prince Henry Navigator. You've got information on the back of these cards. It tells you just a little bit about this period in history and about Prince Henry. And then they would give us questions for a worksheet to just kind of answer back. And that's it. Oh, that's it. See, that was just one page for that. So we would follow along with these questions. I am interested in maybe creating some worksheets to go with this, or if you know of some worksheets that go with this, let me know in the comment section below, and I would love to link that so others can use it. But these cards are just a very quick and easy way to take care of history. As much as I love history, as you get older, you know that history is a subject that you are going to go through several times throughout your academic career. So sometimes we would flesh these cards out with other videos. I would make playlists from YouTube as part of our YouTube schooling, or I would add in additional little bits of information. But it's quick, it's easy, it doesn't take a lot of time, and we would devote the majority of our time to other subjects. But I do like these cards by Veritas Press so much that I went ahead and bought the ones for upcoming years. So last year we did Explorers to 1815, and this year we are using the cards for the next year, which is Explorers, 1815 to present. And I'll put a link to all of these materials that we are using for this year in the comment section below. Okay, and last but not least, the one thing that I have ordered but I do not have in yet is geography. We are using Passport to America, your A to Z tour of the states, and there's going to be an online companion atlas. We are switching to basically some stateside study of geography. Last year his class focused on world geography, and we just basically took the National Geographic World Atlas and we used this as a spine. Very colorful, very beautiful, and the school provided us with a geography notebook. This was a lot of fun for him to use because they made it fun. They simply started with a certain area with a map. I'm going to try and see if I can't create something like this as well, or something similar that I can share. I don't want to do any copyright infringement. And they did a little bit of a paragraph talking about the area that we're working on, and he got to color where the sections were, color code. And then they had a fill in the blank and a seek a word, which is always a lot of fun for him. And then again, another map to reinforce the geography that we were learning. So this was a lot of fun. It was really simple. He would do open book tests later for whatever section of the world that he was covering. So that is what they did last year. I'm assuming they're probably going to do something similar, but I haven't seen the geography workbook yet. So if you're interested, let me know in the comment section below, and I will come back on when the Passport to America comes in. And that is it. Those are our curriculum picks for the 2023-2024 upcoming school year. We are going to add in some things like foreign language. We are finishing up our Song School Latin year 2. this summer, and we are trying to decide right now. I'm going to let my son decide, does he want to go ahead. Initially, he wanted to start American Sign Language, but that is something that we are looking for the best way to study that. Right now, we've just been using YouTube videos and occasionally out-school classes, but I'm thinking we also might go ahead and move forward with his next foreign language. I'm going to let him pick. He's probably going to decide between either Greek or Spanish. So I don't think we're going to do Song School Latin for that. I think he's probably a little too old for those now, even though they're fun, but he's assured me that he's 10 and things that used to be cute and cool are not cute and cool anymore. If you have any tweens out there, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I am looking into TalkBox Spanish for him. I've heard wonderful things about it. So if you're familiar with TalkBox Spanish and you have enjoyed it, and if you have liked it, please let me know in the comment section below, because that is what we are looking into. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please click the like button below and share it with your friends. If there's more that you would like to know about hybrid homeschooling, by all means, let me know in the comment section below. We're going to put out some more videos throughout the year and sharing what our experience is like as hybrid homeschoolers, the wonderful benefits of it, and some of the drawbacks that go with it. And please consider subscribing to my channel so that you'll know when we've got new videos coming out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Remember, education is a journey, not a destination. Relax. It's only homeschooling.